Texas Podcast Massacre contains spoilers and adult language. For more horror, visit us at our website at texaspodcastmassacre.com. This is Texas Podcast Massacre.
Welcome to another episode of Texas Podcast Massacre, coming to you from Houston, Texas. I'm your host, Mitch, and with me as always are my fellow townspeople, Lisa.
When man meets a force he can't destroy, he destroys himself.
And Nate.
I'm done playing with this one.
That's actually worked a lot. We're pretty well this week. Well, welcome to another episode. Each week on Texas Podcast Massacre, we take a look at a different horror movie and debate a horror-related topic with our unsuspecting victim or victims, who are usually someone that we wouldn't necessarily call a horror fan. This week, we're reviewing 30 Days of Night with our two friends who just missed the last plane out of here and are stuck here with us for the month. Derek and Jenna, welcome.
Thank you.
Hello.
Does this thing work?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you. We can hear you.
You'll be doing 30 episodes straight with us, apparently. So get ready for that.
Well, so Derek, you joined us for one of our earlier episodes when we did Amityville Horror.
That was a good one.
Have any other Ryan Reynolds flicks you've seen since?
Just Deadpool, which I am a big fan of.
Okay, that's good.
Derek's like, I can't see his face, but I know it's there. So I'm in on this movie.
Yeah, I mean, there's some flashback scenes. So, the first few chapters goes
Keeps
back
me
and forth.
interested.
Yeah. And Jenna, this is your first time with us, so first welcome.
Thank you.
Now, so where do you sit on the horror movie spectrum? Are you a fan? Not so much?
I'm a fan, but I'm not an enthusiast, I guess.
Okay.
You're not like these two weirdos?
I guess not.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Now, is there a type of horror movie that you find yourself preferring?
I guess I tend to like the more supernatural ones.
Okay.
Like I liked when I watched Amityville Horror with Derek, I had seen that many times before that, and he had never, and I was surprised. I like Rosemary's Baby, like stuff like that,
Right.
I guess.
Okay.
Poltergeist.
Well, Paranormal Activity.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure. I know they're not good, but I love them.
The first one was great.
First one was fine, yeah.
Yeah.
The first one scared
Okay,
the
I've
hell
seen like
out of
all
me.
6 or whatever.
The marked ones.
The whatever the last one was, the last
Ghost
door,
Dimension.
Ghost Dimension. I saw that in. That's the only one I saw in theaters, and that's what I get. I was for changing the pattern.
I was too far in. I couldn't give up.
Yeah, you're committed now.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about the Puppet Master franchise and Saw. At this point, I think I've seen them all.
You've seen the Saws.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Is
So
that
what's
what you're
your
saying?
what's your favorite, Jenna?
Yeah.
Paranormal?
Yeah.
Oh, I really
Or
couldn't.
just horror movie in general, but
What's your go-to recommendation? I guess.
Oh my gosh, I'm not sure. This is such a hard question. Definitely probably an older one. I'm really not sure. I'll have to think on
Okay.
it. It might have been the Amityville Horror. I actually really
Yeah.
like that movie.
it's a good one.
Yeah. Nate, Derek, did you like Amityville? Like, it's been so long.
I did.
You did?
I did like it. Overall, yeah, I'm not a horror fan, so I don't know. I'd sit through it.
You said through.
Hey, welcome to my world.
It's fine.
Derek's like, I'm getting a lot of tips for parenting from Amityville Horror. So this is actually a documentary for me.
Right.
This is great.
I just got to be real mad. Real mad.
Make sure you don't lose your money. That's the key. That's the key about that movie.
All right. Well, welcome both y'all for this
you.
week's episode. We are reviewing 30 Days of Night, I wouldn't say classic vampire film. It's going
Yeah,
to,
I wouldn't say classic.
It is a vampire film. But before we get into it, I do have a debate question for everyone.
We will see how the Lord favors you.
No, you dare not blaspheme. He will punish you. The dog of hell will devour you. All of you. No.
I'm gonna find a new
I like
one.
that movie.
I'm gonna find one.
Pictures of Eastwick, right?
No, that was Children of the Corn.
Children of the Corn.
Oh, because what I was saying was more of like a comedy than a.
We did the.
It's yeah.
Well, no, we didn't do that.
The Craft.
We made fun of it. I think that's what we called the episode.
Yeah, the
It sounded
Bitches
like
of
that
Eastwick.
evangelical lady. Anyway.
It was close.
Yeah.
In the same vein.
See, Lisa, it's a comedy. How do you not like this? I don't get it. I don't get
I'm
it.
not saying I didn't like it. I'm saying I've heard that quote every time.
It's like a fine wine. Malachi and it always gets better.
It's like a fine 90% corn liquor. It only gets better with age.
You're gonna think it's fine until your son does that same scream, and then you're gonna.
Well, we're not calling him Malachi, so that's part of that's how you solve.
You're headed off at the pass right before that happens.
All right. So the actual debate question of this week. So 30 Days a Night is a comic book adaptation. There have been several horror comic book adaptations over the years. My question to you all is, what is your favorite, or what do you think is the best? We'll kick it over to Lisa first.
Yeah, so forget the horror movie list because I don't think I've seen a single one, but this one.
You haven't seen The Walking Dead?
Yeah, I've seen The Walking Dead, but I'll stick to a movie rather than a TV show because The Walking Dead was really good at the beginning, not so much anymore. But anyway, that's a separate debate topic. I'm going to say 300 because that one is just so well done. And it even has that comic booky graphic novel effect from the way they filmed it. So you kind of still get that feeling with the way they did the shadows and the lighting and stuff. And it's just a fantastic movie.
Yeah, that one movie is guaranteed Dan Snyder a paycheck for the rest of his life.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Yeah, Zack Snyder.
Dan Snyder.
I mean, Dan Snyder, the Washington football team.
Oh, Jesus. Sorry. I'm in playoff mode, man. You know how my bad. Yes.
All I heard from Lisa was abs. That's all I heard.
Well, I mean, come on.
Wow. Yeah, that's why the second one didn't do so good.
It did not do very well.
No.
That's the only reason people know who Gerard Butler is, I'm just going to say.
Jeez, poor Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler.
Jenna really likes the Citizen movie. Is that Law Abiding Citizen?
Oh, Law Abiding Citizen.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Is he in that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Watch it.
I'll put it on the list.
Oh, yeah. He goes shirtless at one point. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
We'll see you next week on Gerard Butler Presents. Let's see, Jenna, what would you say?
So, I also have not seen many of the horror movies that have been adapted from comic books. So I'm going to also say a non-horror movie and say that Sin City is my favorite movie adapted from a graphic novel. And I also feel like it had a comic book feel to it. And I overall just really love that movie anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, movie's fantastic.
Again,
and I agree with you on Walking Dead. Mm-mm.
The first one, and both of them. The first one was great. Sequel.
Yeah, they added.
Was not good.
You know what the common thread is there? They added Eva Green. She was in both movies.
Oh, I like Eva Green.
Just saying, she's in both of those movies. They both sucked.
Yeah. Oh, that's. I like to think that's not the common denominator.
It's her.
But it is.
Yep.
It's her.
It's her.
Yep.
Oh, we're sorry, Eva.
She was in Penny Dreadful. She was pretty good in that.
Yeah, she was. Still got canceled.
Yeah.
Derek, how about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Sin City as well. It's one of my favorites. I don't know. For me, I don't watch that many horror movies or comic book. I mean, Deadpool I think is one as well, but I still feel like Sin City is classic.
Okay.
Right after high school, yeah, it was good.
I mean, I guess you could say there's some horror elements. About as horror as Battle Royale, if you make the case. For
yeah,
it.
Sure.
300 has a ton of blood, so there you go.
All right, well, Nate, what's yours?
Yeah. Fuck it. I'm just gonna go Constantine.
No!
Yeah, I'm going Constantine.
You did it.
I have an irrational. I don't think it's my absolute favorite, but I have an irrational like for Constantine. You got Keanu Reeves. You got Shia LaBeouf as his sidekick.
I forgot Shia LaBeouf.
You have Gavin Rossdale from Bush as one of the main bad guys.
How have I not seen this?
This movie is ridiculous.
Not good. That's why.
That's what we do on this podcast.
It was not,
future episode Constantine.
It was not good, and I love it. So
it was really trying to piggyback off the Matrix's success. Yeah, the Matrix's success.
The Matrices.
That's a lot. The Matrices.
The success of the Matrix.
Yes.
That's true.
Yeah, well,
you know how to use them words good.
The best quote. The best quote. One last thing is the best quote from Constantine is Shia LaBeouf goes, "Kramer, Chaz Kramer, asshole," and then he supernaturally gets lifted into a ceiling and gets killed.
Spoilers.
Highly recommended. Just say.
Spoilers.
Highly recommended.
No. Well, there you go. If you're looking for
what's yours,
Keanu Reeves.
bitch?
I mean, shit. So if we're going TV show, then I'd put Tales from the Crypt over The Walking Dead.
Oh, right.
Because Tales from the Crypt was, phenomenal. And I know they're coming back with it. Hopefully it'll be good. But, I mean, shit, this even spawned a kids' TV show, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
But for movie, Blade. Wesley
Blade's
Snipes made vampires cool again.
It's just because of that
where he was
one
bankrupt.
scene.
But one scene.
Isn't that the one where he's trying to dab off?
Oh,
the
yeah.
blood
Well,
with
no. It
tissue?
has the best scene in any vampire movie where he shows back up, right? And his master or friend or whatever is like covered in blood.
Chris Christopherson.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Wesley Snipes' Blade is like has like this big like a business card size worth of a washcloth and like just dabbing some of the like you got a little some right.
It's like
here,
it's like if your
maybe.
leg got cut off and you try to put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah,
It's like literally
Just-
the same level.
It's like it's not going to help.
Are you showing the movie itself or the whole franchise?
Yeah, that was my question.
Because I know Derek's a huge Blade Trinity
Derek's
fan.
all- Derek's
He's got
back
Ryan
in.
Reynolds in it.
Derek's
So
back in.
does that count as part of the...
So the second one sucked. Third one was good.
Oh, I like the second one.
I did not.
That was Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, just because Guillermo del Toro does it doesn't mean
It
it's
had
gonna be
Donnie
good.
Yen in it.
Ooh, I
It
do like
did.
Donnie Yen.
Didn't it also have Triple H?
No, that was the third one.
That's why I like the third one then. If it
got
has a
something-
random '90s wrestler in
something
it,
for everybody.
I'll
Triple
be.
H, Ryan Reynolds. half the table's on board.
All right.
Also, I didn't know this, but apparently The Mask was also based off a comic book series.
No way.
Yeah.
I love The Mask.
Yeah.
I always
it's a great
I
movie.
figured the mask came after
Wait,
the movie, but maybe not.
the movie came from the comic books.
Okay.
You
Well,
thought it was the other
I
way
always
around.
thought it was.
No. Apparently, yeah, it's a 1987 comic book series with Stanley Ipkiss. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, Stanley Ipkiss.
Stanley
Oh,
Ipkiss.
yeah.
Boom.
Jim Carrey's more well-known role, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a winner here. The loser would definitely be Spawn because that movie sucked.
I've never even seen
They're doing
Never
another
saw
Spawn
it.
movie. Did you see that?
I know because they've run out of ideas for what
Yeah.
to do. It's all remake-a-palooza
Yeah, they're respawning.
now.
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting for it.
All right,
Every
well,
episode.
Yeah, every episode. Yeah, at this rate. All right, well, I think that's it for the debate. Are y'all ready to talk about the finer points of 30
Jump
Days
in.
of Night?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go about as fast through this episode as they went through an entire month.
18 days later. Why not?
Exactly.
Why not?
All right, so once again, this week's movie of the week is 30 Days of Night.
We need you at the station.
Copy that.
Board the windows. Try to hide. They're coming.
They? Who are they?
I started noticing that based on the decade, the trailers all sound a certain way.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So 30 Days of Night is about a group of ragtag vampires who have decided to take a vacation for a month where they can get a full, solid evening for 30 days in, I don't know, Brannon, Buttfuck, Alaska. I don't know where.
Yeah,
it is.
it's Barrow.
Barrow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Top of the world.
They just named the city Buffet at that point. I mean, really.
Right. Nate, what do you got? What do you got for us for some?
Sure, yeah.
Trivia.
So this movie came out in 2007. The tagline for this movie is "They're coming." Pretty lame. It's pretty lame. Pretty lame tagline wise. This movie was made for $32 million, which I'm not sure where that money went.
Josh
And, Josh Hartnett.
Satellite phones were very expensive. back
Yeah,
then, just to
they
set them on
burned
fire.
real satellite phones. The box office in the U.S. was almost 40 million, so not too terrible. And then across the world is about 80 million. So they made their money back.
It had a good return.
It did, exactly. The director of this movie is David Slade. So you might have seen him in Black Mirror's Metalhead from this most recent season.
In it, or he directed it?
He directed it.
Okay,
yeah. He directed some American Gods, so a good show from last year. He directed a bunch of Hannibal episodes.
Oh, okay.
And then his first major movie was Hard Candy, if you guys remember, with Ellen Page.
Nope.
as the little girl.
I remember it. I don't know that I can remember seeing it.
It was good, and he's not. So those are kind of horror-ish, and then I guess his main horror movie that he's done is Twilight Eclipse. So he's really he's really an expert in the genre. Here are a list of music videos this guy has directed. Are you guys ready for this?
Okay.
AFI, Girls Not Gray. You guys know that one, right? Muse, Newborn.
Oh, nice.
Trust Company, Falling From Me.
Oh, okay.
Sour Girl by Stone Temple Pilots.
No way.
No.
Yes.
That's crazy.
You can kind of tell this guy's like that washed out, like weird color contrast look. You can
Is
tell
that the one with like Christina Ricci or who? There's some
actress. Yeah,
in
there's
it,
the
right?
main.
Yeah. I don't remember who.
Yeah, I don't remember who.
Aerials by System of a Down.
Nice.
I like
And
System of a
The School of Hard Knocks from POD. So those are just some of the music videos this guy's directed.
Wow.
Did he do the sequel to this movie?
No, he did not do the sequel to this movie. This is fine, Derek. Thank you. The sequel to this movie was the 2010 straight-to-DVD classic Dark Days, whatever that means. Yeah, so this is based on a comic series. It was shot in New Zealand. Half the cast is either Australian or New Zealander, so that's cool. So the main actor in this is poor man's Ryan Reynolds, Josh Hartnett, who did his own stunts in this movie.
Nice.
I don't know how many stunts he had to do, but he did them.
He ran around.
He did them.
Hey, that ice can get slippery.
Yeah, you might remember Josh Hartnett from Sin City, briefly, and horror classics, The Faculty, Penny Dreadful, and of course Halloween H2O. The actress, the main person in here, Stella, was Melissa George, who I think everyone can agree she looked like Rachel McAdams.
She looked like somebody. Kept bugging me.
Right? Yeah. Rachel McAdams? Nobody?
No.
That might
I can see it now that you say that.
Now you say it. I wouldn't pick Rachel, but she does look like someone else.
Rachel McAdams.
So we got a poor man's Rachel McAdams.
poor man's Rachel McAdams. Well, this movie would have been so much better with Rachel McAdams and Ryan Reynolds. Can we all agree on that? I think that's pretty solid.
They couldn't afford it for $32 million.
Yeah, she was in Dark City, the horror film Turistas, and the TV show The Slap. So those are words. So this film was shot in New Zealand, and they actually had a New Zealand professor from a local college make up the fake language that the vampires use. So that's actually a real fake language and no existing language. They actually
that's the best he could do.
That's probably half of the $32 million was coming up with their own language from this professor guy.
Probably.
And then
I mean, if Tolkien, that must be a New Zealand thing, right? Like if Tolkien does it, then we're all just gonna do it, or you know.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you have to make up your own languages if you do movies in New Zealand.
Yeah,
apparently. I don't know. And then lastly, I guess Josh Hartnett had mono for 2 weeks of filming, not unlike Halloween 3. As main protagonist.
No.
So if he looked like he was not having fun in this movie, it wasn't because of the acting. It was just because he had mono. So,
were those
and
2
he
weeks?
still did his own stunts.
Were the 2 weeks that he had
Impressive.
the mono when he was shooting, or were they just 2 weeks that they were filming?
no, it was like during the. Oh, nice. I think he was like going back and forth between like promoting another movie he was in and doing this movie and having mono. So I think he's having a bad time in general. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, okay, so let's kick off the review with talking about this premise. Because when it first came out, I thought the premise sounded awesome. I mean, well, again, this came out in 2007, so this is right before I graduated college. So it was kind of like, okay, this is kind of sweet. When you think about it, though, I think there's a lot of questions that come up that kind of
just a couple
needle the validity of.
Don't watch this movie and look at Google Maps on a second screen at the same time because you will be disappointed.
Because I just feel like the strategy of the vampires is really not
haphazard.
For a centuries-old race, they're really throwing it away for one whole night of just murdering everyone. And then what are they going to do the rest of the other 11 months?
Yeah.
Just hide and hope they are, there's not a lot of basements up in Alaska. Where are they hiding?
This town isn't that big.
No.
I don't. Yeah. This is a good what would I have done differently if you're a vampire? Kill people faster? I don't know.
Well, they killed
slower.
They killed them all fast. There's no one left.
They wasted that scene where they're painting through the town. There's just all this blood. I'm like, oh my God, bag it or something.
Yeah.
Bag it.
Seemed wasteful.
Leftovers.
Lisa, bring Ziploc bag with you.
Right.
That'll sustain you.
You had time to burn a bunch of satellite phones, but you couldn't go to the grocery store and get a couple Ziplocs.
just saying.
I mean, that's true.
No. I don't know. What were y'all's thoughts about, I guess, the premise in general?
Yeah.
It worked for you, or?
I mean, overall, I've always known Alaska can get dark and shit. So I'm like, all right, that's pretty scary. Like, all right. I can see that.
So Derek, someone
I like
says,
that.
hey, Alaska doesn't have sunlight for 30 days.
Yeah,
You're
one
like,
town.
that sounds accurate. I'm no doctor, but that is a
They
true
said it was
statement.
the most north.
Also,
city.
did you know the Earth is flat? that's the second thing that person says to you, and they really believe it.
Odin drives the sun by whipping it and chases it in his chariot, I guess. Well, so Jenny, you've been to Alaska.
Right.
Were you there for 30 days of night? Is that?
No, I was not.
You weren't there for the rampage.
I was more so there for 30 days of sun, but if, equal but opposite, it was not the sun is high and bright in the sky for 30 days straight. It's not like that. So when this came out, about 10 years ago, I was much more intrigued by the premise and believed it a little bit more, as does Derek currently. But however, now, I was questioning that a lot in the beginning and pointing out things like the sun wouldn't be that high on the last sunset before the darkest day. That wouldn't make sense, and it wouldn't be that dark continuously. But vampires aren't real, so I guess I can set that aside.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
It's fair. Well, yeah.
Well, they are just trying to keep it a secret from us and make us think it's just a bad nightmare.
Yeah. You know how you keep a secret? Murder a whole town. Wait, what?
They burned it.
That's
all. It's
stealth.
fine.
Wait, what?
They were going to cover it up.
I could put that as the premise, geographical issues aside, more so than what I'm sure we'll get to soon, which was flaws, I think, in the story progression.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask one last thing just around this. Everyone was very pale and pasty, and I'm not talking about the vampires. I feel like if the sun is, in this context, up for 11 months,
all the time.
Shouldn't these people be tanned?
But
Thoughts?
it's not like it's up for 11 months and then 1 month is just dark.
No, that's how they made it
Based
sound
on this
like.
movie,
Yes.
yes.
That's what
Based
it
on the
sounds
movie, yes.
They just say
Based
there
on
were
this
30
movie.
days when
Based
it,
on Derek
sounds
science.
Yeah.
If it's only 1 month of no sun,
The turtle holding up the flat Earth changes.
denied.
Yeah, exactly. It's a flipper that's just blocking the sun, and then it goes down.
everyone's just horribly pain. Everyone looks depressed. They've had sun. They've had plenty of vitamin D. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Look, they're suffering from what is called seasonal affective disorder. Okay, it's a real thing.
It is a real
okay?
thing.
Yeah.
They're depressed during this
Sounds
period.
During the dark season. Yeah.
Thank you, Derek.
It was hard to tell the townspeople from the vampires sometimes.
Yeah, every
Sometimes.
now and then.
Until they smiled, and then okay,
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's just immigrants not having a good dental plan. That's that's all that was. They came across Asia. They immigrated literally from a ship from the old country. What country do you think they're from?
I thought
They were
Russia.
Eastern European for sure.
Eastern European, Russia.
I don't know. The citizens of the world.
I don't know.
Sure, Lisa, venture a guess.
Where they came from?
Yeah.
I don't know. Somewhere even more north, I guess.
Yeah, where did... oh, man. Yeah, this whole... The more I think about it, the worse this plot is at all times.
Like, why did they leave their food source they've clearly been surviving on for a millennia?
Because they're trying to keep it
Trying to
secret.
branch out.
And by keeping it secret, I mean killing hundreds of people.
And then burning the town. Like, that works maybe 1 year. But they're planning to, let's go to another city next year and just do the same thing.
That's not going to make any sense.
And that city's not necessarily going to have 30 days of night as well.
It's true.
Yeah.
So wait, did they say there's hundreds of people? Because they look like dozens.
So
I thought
when
it was only 150, but I
126.
agree.
What, like
The
126 or
population,
something?
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
small.
But I agree. It
I
did
mean,
not seem like that many
like about
people.
12.
most of the people got the hell out of there.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
And
like
then
5
most of
hours
the people
before.
got slaughtered within like the first 30 minutes of darkness.
Okay, so I got to set the record straight here. So the actual town Barrow has 4,000 people. And there is at least one Alaskan Airlines flight to Barrow every single day.
Is that the
of the whole
northernmost town?
I don't think so. There's got to be more northern.
Why are you shattering the illusion?
Illusion. That doesn't make. Even if it's dark, you can't fly a plane. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
I was
It
thinking
makes
the same thing.
No
You
sense.
lose control.
Oh no, I can't see. It's dark.
I do.
We don't have electricity or anything.
Just checked with Ask Jeeves. He has told me Barrow is the northernmost town in Alaska. So that is.
nice.
So they did get that
So
right.
that's one thing
Factually,
accurate.
Somebody had Google.
They spent a couple
factually
million on
correct.
that information.
Right.
Wait, if you did ask Jeeves, are you sure it's right?
Why would Jeeves lie to me?
Can you do a Lyco search real quick and let's see what that says.
Go to Altavista.
Yeah.
Altavista? Yeah. All right. So back away from the really shitty search engine jokes. All right. So let's talk about this. I guess the characters. We can go ahead and get into them. So the main character. I don't remember his name, but it's Josh Hartnett.
Eben.
Eben, yeah.
It's
I don't remember his name because
Ebenezer?
it's a terrible fucking
Eben.
name.
Spell it. EB.
Eben.
That's horrible.
Like the Sublime song.
Is it?
Eben Olison.
Wow, terrible.
Yeah.
And then you got Stella. That's an actual name.
EBDB, that's right. Yeah, so Eben and Stella, who are sort of a couple,
They're
but they're
they're
not.
estranged.
They're
married
separated.
people.
For some
He
reason.
didn't want kids, and she did. That's
Oh, you picked that up?
That did come up.
I didn't pick that up.
what happened. There was something deeper going on with him, though, because he was really well. We're jumping ahead to when he finds his partner, but
Yeah.
something was going on with him.
She found Josh Hartnett in bed with the snowman. And she's like, you know what? I'm out of here.
We're not doing a Jack Frost thing right now.
That was pre-building.
Now with them, so these are the only two law enforcement types, I guess, throughout the that
She
are
was a
in
fire
there.
marshal. Just
Yeah, she was a fire marshal, and then
I said a law enforcement.
Josh Hartnett.
type.
No, there's Josh Hartnett, and there's Billy.
and Billy.
Yeah, the
And
partner.
And Billy. Yeah.
Yeah, but where's Billy for most of the movie?
Murdering his family.
Murdering his family. That's the scene I'm talking about. And he's like, "You don't hurt your family." And I'm like,
Yeah.
something's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, I hurt my family, not you though. Just me.
No, but where were his parents? See, it's the whole thing. When you get into the psychological aspects,
Well, what were y'all's thoughts about? Okay, so what were y'all thoughts about about Eben, Stella, and law enforcement / public service workers?
I cared about no one.
I was just watching him get murdered. This is great.
Yeah, like
This is great.
there's no emotion. Like when anyone happened, like,
Yeah.
oh, that kid got taken. Maybe
you make your own work schedule. Why are you going to Barrow last?
Yeah.
The last day,
Yeah,
she
I'm
was
gonna
like,
It was like a
"Oh."
very risky situation.
She
Was the guy
wanted
that
to
ran
get
into
stuck.
her? Who's the one? Was it the
Oh, yeah.
Parker
Wait a-
person?
Just Mr. Plow just ran into
Mr. Plow.
ran into her. Yeah, it was terrible.
What was that?
Yeah.
He couldn't stop.
Let me tell you something.
It's wide open. Nothing.
yeah.
They
This
didn't
town has
see each
got
other.
nowhere.
This town has got like 5 people in it. There's like 100 roads, like ice roads.
We got a fender
2
bender.
people, 2 like the most giant vehicles on Earth just colliding.
Yeah.
It doesn't make
Let
any
me-
sense.
Let me ask something about the logic with Mr. Plow here for a second.
Sure.
I've gotten my share of speeding tickets and citations.
Oh yeah.
If I went through that city that gave me one of those and they were in trouble, I would not be helping. I would
Wow.
to be all honk the horn and drive on through.
That's a way to go.
Wow.
Am I alone in that?
Yes, you're alone in that. You are alone in
right?
that.
A little vindictive, but I like it.
You're-
I kept waiting
Your
for him
oil-
to turn on them.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I was waiting for. Secret vampire.
Like,
I was hoping for it.
This guy made it. Mr. Plow makes a deal with the vampires. Like, hey, the guy gave me a citation because I clearly was polluting the streets.
No, it's
Let
fine.
me
He
get
just
back
gave
at
him a
him.
citation because he wanted him to make him feel part of the community.
Yeah, what kind of reasoning was that?
He's like, you live somewhere out
we
there.
want to make him part of the community. Please give us money.
Yeah,
Suck it.
Money, please.
he lives on the South Ridge all by himself, whatever that means.
It definitely
So-
wasn't buying that it was the best police training ever, as was evident from later, ethical choices. But even
Yeah.
at the beginning, I'm like, you leave your grandma with the creepy prisoner.
What was that?
Your grandma and your little brother.
Grandma
And your
Yeah, grandma and
brother.
little brother with prisoner.
This
Yeah.
will be fine.
I did like how he's like, she's stuck out on Marrow and 236. I'm like, how the hell are you going to find that intersection? You can't see anything.
Now, besides Mr. Plow and besides Stella and
Eben.
I'll never get this name down.
Yep.
I'm just gonna call him Josh. Besides them, can you name 2 other of the townspeople?
Gail was the little girl.
Boom.
Oh, the one that got dragged.
We got one.
There was a brother.
I'm not counting
I don't
that.
remember
The
his
brother.
Grandma.
Helen was her name.
Helen, there you go.
Helen.
You know, Helen wasn't.
Which I thought was weird because at one point he's like, Helen?
Yeah, why did he
I'm
call
like,
her
"It's your
Helen?"
grandmother."
Maybe that also
I was like,
speaks
who
to
the
his
hell's Helen?
family's backstory.
Possibly.
Yeah, very
Adopted.
formal.
I'm telling you, I feel like the sequel should have delved into that aspect 'cause there was something there.
30 Days of Therapy. That's the sequel.
I do remember an old man. Kind of an idiot.
Yeah, Derek. That's
Oh,
what
the
the
dad
guy's
had
name wasn't
dementia?
Old Man. Although maybe it was.
Man.
Calls him on the phone. Old man. Old man.
You mean
Are
the guy
here?
that had Alzheimer's
Yeah.
was an idiot?
Yes.
He really was.
Hey, he snuck, dude. He snuck out like
I'm the dick
straight
for the
like.
citation comment over
Yeah.
here. This old man Alzheimer's. He's a fucking moron.
Dude, that old guy gave him the slip though, man. He really
did.
like prison
I was
break. It was
impressed with
awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
so what did y'all think about the vampires themselves? I thought the makeup was pretty cool.
Yeah, the eyeballs
that was
looking
fun.
weird was
Yeah.
cool.
Did you like the take on the vampire in this one? Because I mean, obviously
No.
they're a little bit more zombie-esque, right? They all get their heads chopped off versus getting stabbed in the heart or a traditional vampire sort of
That's
death,
fine.
which is okay. It's
It's
just
more realistic, right?
yeah, but it just comes across a little more zombie-ish to me.
It was very zombie.
Yeah.
Versus
There's no
vampire.
silver, nothing like that. Traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The makeup was good though. I mean, I think we can agree on that.
I don't understand their eating efficiency. Why
Oh,
were
it's
they
not.
just?
It was
I mean,
so
they were
wasteful.
like a dog. I mean,
I'm gonna take
Yeah.
a shot of blood and I'm gonna run away.
yeah.
Like,
I'm just gonna maul at it. Like I was
Yeah.
thinking, True Blood style. It's so much more efficient. They just suck it out like two little holes, and then
Yeah. Straw.
not even a drop.
And I get, like,
Yeah.
you want fresh blood that's probably tastes better and is better for you than old blood.
Oh, I get
so
that.
share one person a day.
exactly.
Be like, all right, this is our dinner for tonight. Then tomorrow we'll find somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, also, I feel like at the end, the Josh Hartnett's like, "Oh, I can smell you guys' blood or whatever," and none of them could smell blood the whole time.
whole
and people
time?
are freaking
Yeah.
hiding under a car. Like,
Yeah.
come on, this is
The
bullshit.
car was hiding the
Yeah.
smell, Derek.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I believe that.
That attic was
happening.
smell proof.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a smell.
We have that
attic.
feature at our house.
Yeah.
It's,
What do you, hey, hold on. What do you guys got going on your attic? Hold on, why is it smell room? What's happening?
It's
here?
called the Anne Frank package. You can get it.
Oh,
I was gonna
yikes.
make an Anne Frank joke, but Derek told me that was too far.
Yeah.
I took it across the line
Yeah.
for you, so don't worry. I got you, fam. Yeah, so
God. Ryan Reynolds never would have made that joke. Can I say this? Yeah.
okay.
I got to rant on one thing
Okay, go
before
ahead.
you
Yeah,
go.
go ahead.
Josh Hartnett's got to have a beard. You're like the sheriff
Oh,
guy
yeah.
in this like
Yeah,
place.
sure.
There's no night. It's like whatever.
Cold.
You have to have a beard.
Yeah.
It's
And
like
he was such a
impossible.
baby
didn't-
face.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's
know.
like, ugh.
Not
That was the
bad.
one thing that did bother me is that they would just say 7 days later. Like they didn't do
He's been
enough to show
shaving
the
every
passage
day.
of
He's been
time.
shaving
There's no physical
every
progression.
Yeah.
single day, and you can never see their breath, which is like would be
Yeah.
the whole point of this movie. Like if they redid this movie now, they would actually be in a cold place.
Yeah.
Seeing their breath as like a way that they would be able to like find out where someone is.
Yeah.
Would be an awesome way for the vampires to track. But no,
Someone's been
this
playing
movie-
Metal Gear Solid a little too much lately.
I did not believe for a second when it said that 7 days or 10 days had passed.
No,
just like that was so easy.
No, day 18.
I mean,
Why?
They could
Who
have
knows?
easily done something where they're in the attic and they're like, oh my God, I'm starving. All right, we're good.
Exactly.
It's been 20 days. All right, we have to go to the grocery store today.
Yeah,
something.
Where in this attic do they have bottled water and supplies and
Yeah, he's like, we'll ration. I'm like, what are you going to ration?
yeah? Would like to have seen a supply run of some sort. Would have been.
They did go to the general store that one time.
But that was at like the very end to be
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
okay, this is our last ditch effort to
20
blow up
days or
shit.
whatever.
Now,
Because they hadn't been there yet.
Right.
After like 15 days.
no, this girl. I mean, Walking Dead stole this, right? I mean,
Oh, the girl in the vampire girl.
yeah,
The little girl?
yeah.
Come play with me.
The very beginning of
Yeah,
Walking Dead
no,
when she had like the teddy bears. I mean, it's kind of close actually, and this came out earlier. So,
Well, but when did the graphic novel?
oh, that's true.
Because the graphic novel had it first, but creepy girls with teddy bears isn't exactly.
Someone stole from something.
It happens. It happens. Thank you, Derek. All right, so let's start with some of the better scenes. I think we kind of mentioned the rampage, which is just that whole overhead scene, which was well done, but yeah, a lot of just blood everywhere. And they clearly know how to capture people. I don't know why they're not just like...
They did thwart that one with the swing set.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Well,
the swing set kill.
Yeah.
Swing set, yeah.
Who hasn't gotten tangled up in a swing set before?
I was like, this is really it?
And then hacked to death.
Yeah.
A lot of swinging was happening in general.
That happens.
What were some of y'all's favorite scenes in the movie?
I would say the one where Mr. Plow.
You liked the Mr. Plow scene?
Whole Plow, yeah. Coming in, coming out, being the hero, blowing himself up. Not believable, but...
He didn't blow himself up, though. He
tried to.
He tried to.
Here, can you elaborate on this more? Coming in, coming out, blowing up.
I mean,
just a little bit more detail.
Is there anything else? He's Mr. Plow. He came in.
That's his name. The name again is Mr. Plow.
That was my one of my favorite scenes.
What about you, Jenna?
I like the scene with the old man who sneaks down the attic and tries to get out, and for some reason they let him go to the bathroom. To me, I was, why would you do that? And but then when they realize that the son, tries to injure, Rachel McAdams wannabe.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty funny. But then he goes out into the street and he starts yelling, "Dad!" I mean, not so much. Your dad is
so many
gone.
characters were yelling in the streets.
No,
Stop it.
That.
Yeah. Again, biggest pet peeve is acting like you live in a world where that's not common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like they didn't know vampires were out there on the rooftops.
You've been survivors.
Yeah,
you've been survivors for quite some time.
Yeah, clearly.
Top priority.
Which apparently the old dude didn't have to use the restroom for 8 days, so good for him for that kind of control.
So my favorite scene, speaking of yelling in the streets, so when they used that one girl as the decoy,
ooh, that was good.
That was probably my favorite scene when they were stalking on the rooftops around her, using her to try to bait out any survivors.
But they knew it was coming.
I know, but it was a cool tactic to try at least. I mean, they started with like just biting heads off and clotheslining people, and then they at least got a little bit more subtle with like the decoy move. It was appreciated. Didn't work.
It was contradictory though, their intelligence level throughout the movie. 1 minute they're intelligent enough to plan this whole thing and send in a human to prep the place, and they have the girl that they're using as bait, but then at the same time she doesn't get anybody. Doesn't get them anybody to eat, and how many times they let people just go away, and I'm like, weren't you just behind that other person?
So many people escaped, and I'm like, that would be murdered. You'd be dead.
Yeah.
There's no way you got away from that.
Maybe, I don't know.
Lisa, was there a scene that you particularly enjoyed?
I kind of like the end.
The end.
Let's save the end. Let's save the ending.
All right.
The ending.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Not the very end.
Oh, okay. Well, what's it? The meat grinder part, or
no? The Josh Hartnett. We'll talk about it.
Okay,
we'll talk about it.
We'll go to Creed's "My Sacrifice" in a second.
There goes my hero.
That's a different song, but we'll put that.
That's Foo Fighters.
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't think Lisa cares.
I feel so bad for Dave Grohl right now.
Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl's like, God damn it! Now I'm a Creed person. This is terrible.
I didn't. No. I didn't confuse the two. Okay. I just like that song.
And it was
funny. No, I know you didn't, but these people think I don't know Creed, Foo Fighters. Come on now.
You're like, my own
I don't want that to go on the record, because that's not true.
Speaking of record, my favorite scene was that the death scene, right, where the vampires actually... I wanted more of that, where they were in the house and they were terrorizing that couple, and he just starts playing the record and uses that, like, long-ass, like... salon nail he had in manicure.
Yeah, they had like
his Coke nail.
Yeah, his Coke and PCP nail. Yeah, exactly.
They had Flojo nails.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Oh, I like that scene. There was another one too. I thought was pretty good, but it was like more intimate scenes with the leader and
yeah. So it's like 30 days and they go in a house like 3 times.
Yeah.
Oh, bad strategy.
Also, I think if you're being eaten by people, maybe don't congregate in the diner. I just feel like that sends the wrong message overall. Yeah. I feel like there's a number of other buildings you could have all hidden. Like you could have started at the sewage area.
Sure.
With the big meat grinder.
Throw him off the scent.
Yeah.
Figuratively and literally. That'd been good.
Did y'all have a favorite death of any character, any vampire?
The swing was hilarious.
The swing was pretty good.
The swing was good.
I did like that it always took him more than one axe shot, or it never was just a one shot done.
Also brutal when Josh Hartnett killed the cop at the end. That was there was a lot of swings at the guys.
Oh yeah,
of his partner.
That was brutal.
I think the one was it in the grocery store when they finally pin her up and the little brother just took the axe. I was like, all right, he stepped up. He did it.
Oh, Nate, what about you?
Death-wise, I don't know. I cared about so little people in this. I guess
Nature's in the back going,
You can do it! Cut his fucking head off!
that's just you every time. That's because that's basically all everyone died for the most part.
So I guess the decoy chick, when they go like full vampire jacket and try to like draw them out by hitting the girl in the face.
Yeah.
Very Full Metal Jacket-esque. That was something. That I kind of liked.
That was a death in the movie.
That was a death in this movie. Yeah, for sure. It was okay. I don't know.
So no other deaths really stood out for you?
I mean, the vampire girl.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of cool, too. Okay, I guess the vampire girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grocery store.
So they've seen they've seen all of like their friends get murdered and coworkers and townspeople. They're a small, tight-knit community. But then like they see one girl and they freak out like, yeah, she's a vampire. Get over it. It's not that hard.
Oh, and I also liked, I guess it was the first death. We didn't actually see the kill, but the head on the pike of the guy at the power place, I guess.
Shit's going down. Yeah.
They should have done more heads on pikes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little more Vlad, a little more Dracula 3000 going on in here.
I did like how they finally got that one girl vampire with ultraviolet light.
Oh, yeah.
And then the head vampire freaked out. He's like, oh my gosh, they can't know that we're real. I'm like, maybe you should have thought about that earlier.
It was like kill 120. Like, oh, shit.
I wish they'd called ultraviolet light instead of sun lamp. Because whenever they said sun lamp, I was like, just because...
Like a tanning booth?
Yeah. I just thought, just because a marketing person says that doesn't mean it's actually going to have the power of the sun there.
No,
you're hinging a lot. A lot of assumptions are being made.
So that lamp was for a plant, right?
It's for
a special plant.
Yes.
Yeah.
A plant.
So UV light is like damaging to plants. So
they also
negative science again because they would not. The light that I'd be using for a plant would not hurt a vampire.
But a lot of people who live in places where it gets dark like that, that going back to the sad thing, they get the natural light lamps.
Yeah.
To help. So it may have been for that. I don't remember what they said.
I was almost positive it was for a plant.
Was it for a plant?
It was for marijuana growth.
Yeah.
The grandma was growing marijuana for
her cancer.
Oh, that's right.
For
that's
cancer.
Right.
She had glaucoma.
It was medical.
That's not cancer.
I know.
Is that why it was in quotes?
I'm casting aspersions on this grandma's, medical
She was
status.
such a junkie.
Totally addicted.
Well, so let's talk about this ending. Let's talk about this ending. So, Lisa, you wanna kick us off here on?
Yeah. So I liked that scene.
Well, wait, so which scene in particular?
So basically, Josh Hartnett realizes, hey, I'm just going to turn myself, and then I will be the strength of the vampires, and I'll go destroy them.
Which, a lot of assumptions.
That's
a lot of untested. I mean, that's some balls.
Yeah.
It'd have been hilarious if he would have turned into a vampire and then died in a swing set. Like, instantly. That would have been the best.
What if he
ending
just
ever.
turned and then just straight up murdered everyone? Like everyone else who had been kind of bitten.
Yeah.
Already. What if he just murdered everyone? That was the end of the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd been awesome.
Yeah. That would have been a different ending. Anyway, go ahead, Lisa. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
that was
basically. I mean,
yeah.
he takes out.
Yeah, he
Takes
fights
out the
Marlowe.
leader. Yeah.
By punching him through the back of the
These
neck.
characters,
that was actually kind of.
These characters are so forgettable though. Like like I don't remember anyone's name. I watched this yesterday. Like I don't remember anyone's.
I was trying. So okay, I was trying to figure out who one of the vampires were, and they are named in IMDb, and I was just going through, and I'm like,
That's hilarious.
no,
They never say
I don't think so.
say
I mean,
their
there's
names.
12. I have no.
They never say their names in the movie.
Anyone
Actually, though.
is.
So that makes it. That's more reasonable.
One of the tall, skinny vampires reminded me of the guy from Grandma's Boy, the program guy.
Oh, you're right.
Oh man, yeah.
Definitely could have been him.
That doesn't help this movie. That's movie's game.
Well, so did the rest
He had a
of the
weird face in that
vampires
movie and a
just
weird
get
face in
away?
this movie.
I mean, he goes through all of this in order to save the ex-wife or whatever and the girl, which is fine, I guess. But then did the rest of the vampires just go to get away, or did the light?
I actually
They
wrote that in my
should've
note.
showed them die.
Where did all the vampires go?
Well, because he's like, should I go after them? And like, nah, let him go. And I'm like,
I guess that was. You know,
was that a Paula Cole song?
Where did all the
vampires
vampires?
gone?
I think it is.
They should have played that at the end of the
I guess that's how they were trying to leave it open for a sequel, but that's not very good. That's
31
just,
days
that's just
of
a plot
night.
hole. That's not that's not like a twist at the end.
Yeah, I hate when they do like, hey, you know how we were like coordinating like packs and killing all these people? Then we see one guy, it's like, yeah, let's just let him go one-on-one and like not doing anything.
Exactly.
I hate that. Hate it.
Like, let's let them fight with honor and one-on-one.
And disband
No.
after he murders them. This is fine.
you're like, what?
You have defeated our sensei.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
We've been doing this for millions
Our
of
dojo
years,
has collapsed
but-
now.
Yeah,
I don't. What do we do now? I don't know what to do.
It's like in that fight. It was like Fast and the Furious. They're just racing for pink slips, and then whoever wins, like they just get it, and then everyone else leaves. That's like the whole strategy.
And if they could smell blood, why did they just let the girl and the ex-wife
That was the worst.
walk away?
They would be so dead. It was so cold. Do you see what they're wearing?
Yeah.
it
That's
is
what I'm saying.
over.
Elements.
I would have been like, if I was Josh Hartnett, I'd be like, well, they're gone. All right, so let's just figure
Let's
this
make a new
out.
plan.
Yeah.
They're dead.
You know, there's a whole world out there outside of Barrow, Alaska.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I don't know. Anything else y'all want to talk about this movie before we get into some of our awards and ratings and stuff?
There was a part at the end that the end is what I feel like went downhill for me. I was really enjoying the movie, and I did enjoy it, but I feel like the last 20% or so is where I saw the most plot holes that bothered me, such as when Stella runs out from where they're hiding to get the girl who's walking through the street, and
no
Josh
one
Hartnett
noticed.
tries to distract the vampire and tells her to slip out through the back. Yet somehow he completely leaves that vampire who's right in front of him unscathed and makes it to the sewer plant or wherever before she does. Like
what is she doing?
He let you go so you could get there. What were you doing?
He had one job.
Everything off screen. That's when they were getting food. Maybe that was it. I don't
They're
know.
at McDonald's. Fine.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's a lot of little weird jump cuts where people just kind of showed up. It's like, oh, when did y'all just decide to leave?
Yeah, it's like the last season of Game of Thrones. All of a sudden, like people are just teleporting. Like at this point, yeah, it's crazy.
No. Except this isn't near as good as Game of Thrones.
That is true.
Anything else, Nate, from you?
Yeah, I don't know. It was. I guess the one thing that I want to bring up is when one of the first things that they say when Ben Foster comes in, the actor, right?
Yeah,
and he's like the
stranger, right?
Yeah, the stranger. He's like the first guy. Like, again, why do you send one guy ahead? That doesn't make any sense. But sure, they say they don't have alcohol for the 30 days. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? What is this place?
Yeah.
Not also accurate for Alaska.
Exactly.
At all.
Highest level of alcoholism in the United States. So
They just stock up. Like, what the hell?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This like the setup was like, okay, there's 30 days of night. There's no airplanes. There's no alcohol. It's like, what are people doing?
And what was the
Maybe they wanted to
significance?
die. Maybe they were killing themselves on purpose.
I feel like if no one was drinking in that movie, but they never said there was no alcohol, I wouldn't have asked. I wouldn't have been like, where's all the booze in this movie? I just wouldn't have thought about it. So why did they go out of their way?
And I feel like when she got there and pointed the gun at the guy's back of his head, like if she would have shot that guy, it would have murdered Josh Hartnett. This is the worst.
Yeah.
I feel like it looked ridiculous.
In that scene, you could see why they got married in the first place. But then you can also see why it didn't last very long.
Oh, the fire marshal and the sheriff, of course.
The classic, the classic story.
So we were talking before the show too. You mentioned while we're on the topic of the stranger, the satellite phones.
Yeah,
that there's an overabundance of these satellite phones.
Yeah.
It seems like, and they all just were somehow collected out of everywhere. Somehow, I mean, because presumably they're in houses, they're in
Police
police
stations.
stations. They've all been rounded up by the stranger. And at the beginning of the movie, you assume like a day because he just shows up and then all this shit starts happening.
Yeah,
Maybe it's been like a year because the passage of time in this movie makes no sense.
Yeah, hey,
who knows? But
if you can sneak into every building and steal sat phones, maybe sneak into every building and kill people. That just seems like a strategy to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they were worried, going back to what you said at the very beginning of the episode, I think they were worried about them flying away, though, because didn't they destroy that guy's, like, prop plane?
Helicopter. Yeah, sure.
So,
I mean, they didn't destroy the airplanes of people leaving, but,
Well, like I said,
Well,
some of it made sense, like destroying the helicopters, killing the dogs, which I'm usually not a fan of.
Oh,
but
does
it made sense.
hold on. Does the dog die.com?
Yes and early.
The answer is yes, and it was within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
7 minutes.
Yeah, but wasn't a fan. But at least it sort of made sense, and it wasn't like a prolonged like. It just happened, but it made sense. It was like, okay, they did it for this. Where it's like, okay, I can put it together. That's fine. We can move past it.
Yeah.
I do want to have a little shout out on this more just between us. Attics for the win, because that's where they all hunker down. Not a person's looking for
That's
a basement.
right.
So
true.
attics,
Nate.
one,
Suck it,
basements,
Northerners.
nothing.
But attic doesn't make any sense. Oh, God, that doesn't make.
Tell it to Josh Hartnett.
Make any sense?
Josh Hartnett gets that attics like, I think we can probably just wait it out for a month.
Didn't they say
it's
you
only
could
day
find
7.
the entrance to it?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
You guys know what the warmest part of the house is? An attic. Oh wait, no. It's like literally the coldest. It's colder than the
unless
basement.
they built it out and put the air
According
in
to
there.
Derek's science, heat rises, so you're false.
Yeah. So if heat rises and all those people were in the attic, they would have seen the heat coming off the building. So again, terrible. Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
Basements suck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The basement would hide
So
you
we've been trying to tell
so
them for
much better.
Best guess of 2018. That's fine.
Isn't the basement where all of the last remaining people die in Night of the Living Dead?
Yep.
Every movie.
Yeah, every movie.
It gets stuck
Every-
in that damn
To be
basement.
fair, if you want to count rooms people die in, I mean, there's quite a bit of rooms where people are dying.
Yeah, but the
in Night of the
basement's
Living
always
Dead.
the worst.
Basements are always.
It's the
Where you
gateway to
gonna go?
hell.
Yeah,
It's
where
where
you
it
gonna go?
hides.
Yeah.
No escape.
Yeah. The only thing in attics
hey.
at worst is some creepy fucking dolls. And you just leave them in there. Just leave them in there. Don't worry.
And people have been suffocated with plastic bags and rocking chairs.
Well,
in Black Christmas.
they were in Texas basements. They weren't in real basements or attics. I mean, a Texas basement. Is something
You will
we've
never
learned
dissuade me
a
from
whole lot
basements.
about.
Basements are great. Yeah,
Not in this movie. The attic is the safe spot. Anyway, that was my only.
yeah. This movie. Let's get through.
All
this.
right, so I think that's it for our review. So let me ask you all, what would you have done differently?
Son of a bitch, you left the bodies and you only moved the headstones! You only moved the headstones! Why? Why?
That's such a great job.
Yeah.
God, every time we do it, that one will never change.
All right, Derek. So, other than casting Ryan Reynolds instead of Josh Hartnett, what would you have done?
Or would you have
differently?
done both?
Other than that, number one. Number two.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like obviously the movie's set up the way it is for reasons. I mean, overall,
4 reasons.
obviously I would have tried to drive out of town, but that
4
didn't work out.
reasons.
That didn't work out because somebody plowed into her. Like, what the hell is that? That would be my number one goal.
That could be the name of
town.
That could be the name of this episode. 4 reasons. 30 days of night.
Well, it doesn't
4
make sense,
reasons.
but I mean, shit happens.
Yeah. Wow.
Other than that, I probably would have gotten something to, I guess, distract the vampires better. I feel like there was no distractions. It was just they found you. You could just walk away, I guess, and be fine. Overall, it didn't seem like there
Their
was much,
distractions were yelling in the middle of the street. That was their whole distraction
Yeah.
status. Yeah, that was bad.
How about you, Jenna?
So, first off, I would say, like, on the topic of distractions, after they go to the general store and that one guy gets scratched and no one seems to notice that, but then he starts turning into a vampire. So that's also the time when they let not only Josh Hartnett, but Mr. Snowplow go out, and Mr. Snowplow ends up dying in order to distract people and distract the vampires to save others. So then, right when they all get back, the guy who's turning is like, oh, by the way, I'm turning. You just need to kill me. This is me doing the right thing. If you were really doing the right thing and you had such awareness that this was happening, maybe you should have said you were going to sacrifice yourself instead of the people who are actually kicking ass.
That's true.
Take one for the team.
You're
already dying. Yeah.
He was okay with it. He clearly accepted it. He just wanted to wait until someone else died first.
He really wanted to have one of his closest friends and family murder him. Instead of
and then go on. Now I'm ready.
Yeah. Can you please take an axe to my face?
That is a good point. Yeah.
Nate, what would you have done differently?
If I'm Mr. Plow, if I explode myself, I'd kill more people with it.
Yeah. And I would kill myself.
Nate.
What the hell?
He waited a long time to use that dynamite.
Hey, dynamite? You could throw that. Did anyone know this? I mean,
I didn't drop it.
I don't know. The way these vampires are doing parkour over here, they may not have. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, they could have flipped off and gone somewhere.
What would I do differently? Take the second to last flight out of town instead of the last one? This seems like an obvious.
Get to the airport more than 2 hours early?
Just in case. Yeah. I mean, that's like. And then the last one was, can no one just hide like a CB radio or something? Like.
They had the radios. They were talking to each other.
Well, no, like a CB, like a long range one. Like
Derek doesn't know what that is.
If there's 30 days and like if you're like there's totally darkness and there's no flights, like I feel like they would their communication apparatus would have to be like really bulked up because if something happens, you'd be screwed.
Big plows would have one.
Yeah,
so I'm saying like some
or
sort of
the fire marshal's truck.
Yeah, some sort of like lo-fi CB radio system that doesn't require like a bunch of stuff because I don't know about you guys, but I'm assuming this town is like infrastructure is not necessarily the best if there's like no light and it's like negative a million all the time. So I just want a CB radio.
Well, and how did not more people have generators?
Yeah, I know. See that again? If you're living in like this kind of place, generate a must, right? Exactly. So
I'm sorry, Jenny's.
I think that's the technical term.
Yeah. Jenny's.
You got to fire up the Jenny.
Did they not have any internet in the entire town? Like 2007, there was internet. There was internet. I'm sorry.
Not in Barrow.
Someone tried to get internet, and Josh Hartnett gave him a citation. Like, no, sorry. Yeah. You can only use Ask Jeeves. They have like a monopoly on the market.
Can't even get there.
There's one dial-up account, and
I mean, I had AOL in the '90s. Come on.
Yeah. Lisa, what do you do differently?
Don't live in Barrow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember how, like, partway through the movie, I told you, I was like, why are all these people here? Like,
oil.
Freedom.
Oh, no, it's because no one else could.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're here because we can do it.
That's a bad reason.
That is a terrible reason.
They actually forgot vampires. Vampires could also live there. Other than that, no one else can live here.
It just, I don't know. I just don't live there. And I was surprised there were so many families there. Like, if it truly is an oil town, you've got the rotators coming out to do their thing. You don't have a bunch of kids and families living there. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No.
Although there's 4,000 people there apparently, so someone's there for some reason.
Yeah, someone.
That's a pretty high number. There's only like 300,000 people in all of Alaska.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I guess you took a couple of mine, Nate. I would just said,
suck it, Mitch.
Not just her though. Everyone seems to leave like, oh, sun's going down. I guess now's a good time to get in my car and say goodbye to everyone. But you leave like a day early.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, not the last flight out of town.
Yeah, well, even if they're all driving, I guess. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Get a buffer day.
Yeah.
Something.
She also assumed there'd still be a seat on the flight for, like, did she book a ticket or was she just like, I'm just going to the airport and try my luck?
Marshal.
Yeah.
Get in.
I'll kick someone off the plane.
This is very important fire marshal business.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to go. What'd she say? I got to go home and water my plants.
Yeah. Won't someone think of the plants? I got to get back. Like, that was her main thing.
Well, hopefully she wasn't using the UV lights because she's killing them.
She would kill the plants anyway. The downside.
Okay, do you have any awards to give out, Lisa?
Not great law enforcement. I feel like that's a trend, though.
Yeah,
that always happens because it's like no one can get their shit together.
Yeah,
when they're. I don't know.
I mean, when zombie kind of vampire things come over your town, I mean, I think you got a little bit of leeway to make some mistakes.
No, you don't.
They should train for that.
Yeah, they should. Hey, in a place that has 30 days a night, they never thought of it. No, not a single person thought, oh, what if the vampires come? Come on. There's books on how to prepare for the zombie apocalypse.
So I just saw some, considering there's a big raging fire happening, the fire marshal does nothing. Because no,
That's fair.
And that's another thing is that because of the way they set the fire, that oil would never have caught on fire.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
never.
We're just gonna go poke holes in this.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't make any. It makes
It's gonna be
no
fine.
sense.
This will be perfect
at all.
Yeah.
Derek, what do you give an award
I'm
for?
giving the grandma.
Wait, what now?
I'm giving the grandma the best medical marijuana in Alaska.
Yeah.
That's what she's getting.
The best little marijuana
Best little grow
house
shop.
in Alaska.
Best little grow shop.
Grandma's little grow shop.
It ended up killing a vampire, so
Exactly.
Granny grow.
And Nate, what about you?
I have a couple awards. The attempted menage a draw award for the people who tried to have a three-way, but in deciding whose house it would be at with rock paper scissors.
Oh yeah, that was a weird scene.
That was a weird scene.
I like that.
It's like we're gonna have a three-way. That's obvious.
Yeah.
Two guys, one girl.
Derek
on
prefers to
conclusion.
roll Yahtzee.
Yeah.
To see who's gonna figure.
Derek's like snake eyes. Let's do this. But yeah, they basically rock paper scissors to see whose house they'll have the three-way at. And then
Why?
That was weird.
home field advantage. I don't know. These are great questions. That was an award. And then I gave the "It's better to burn out than fade away" award to Mr. Plow.
Oh,
He really exploded his face about as hard as he possibly could.
yeah.
So sad.
Jenna?
I would say maybe the award for the most mercy kills. Thinking back, there was kind of a lot. And first, I started off with, I guess, good intentions until we met the world's best sheriff's deputy.
Yeah.
Billy.
Kill my family. What happened there?
You don't kill the
So
It's
you're
like
saying,
an Amityville horror crossover.
yeah, your award is the family man.
Yes.
Done.
Yes.
That was a brutal scene.
Yeah,
When he killed
yeah.
Billy. That was brutal. I mean, for sure. Yeah.
Why is he going with the axe? Just dump his ass over.
Yeah, that's what I was
Really? That would have been a whole lot
We
more.
were yelling at the
That would have been a whole lot
Grab
more
his
humane.
legs and flip him.
Like it would have been instant. He would not have
Yeah.
felt anything.
yeah, no, I'm gonna.
Josh Hart, let me
take his axe to him.
The axe worked earlier. I mean, he's just going with what works.
Work with what you know. All right, that's fair.
Yeah.
That could be in the award as well. But no, I'm going to give best death metal vocals to the vampires. They definitely had the little pterodactyl screech
Yeah.
technique.
There was a Wilhelm scream somewhere in this movie. I remember.
It was in the big rampage.
Yeah, I didn't write it down, but there was definitely a
Yeah.
scream like that.
I just enjoyed all of those. I mean, I feel like you could have played any of the new metal bands that are out now, and it would have sounded perfect. Now,
Give us a taste. Give us a scream here.
No,
Rush.
I'm not doing that.
No, why? You liked him so much.
I did,
We're
and
good.
because I can't do that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
actually, I can, but I'm not going to do that now.
All right, Lisa, you try it.
It's kind of weird. Okay, so to do it, you've got to do like a kind of a Marge Simpson, like back, like Grudge.
Yeah.
But then you got to really just like go high, like that. You see, I can't.
Pretty close.
It was good. I'm kind of gunky right now, so that didn't help. Anyone else want to try?
No.
Awesome. Up top, everyone. It's like the literal high, like leave me hanging. All right. That's going to bring us to our final section.
Final cut.
All right. So our rating out of 10, whatever the hell metric you want to use. Lisa, what do you give this movie?
I liked it more before we started talking about it.
Oh,
Then I was like, there are some
your
stuff.
your rating is dropping like the sun right now.
I'd probably give it 5 out of 10 severed heads. It's good. It's good. You got to remember, I have a lot of really crappy movies to compare it to now, and it wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't Thanksgiving. So
Sure, yeah. So this movie is twice as good as The Omen.
we got to go back
I'm
because
just kidding.
now I think I'd bump The Omen up after all the crap we've seen.
The
Yeah.
original?
Yeah.
That was the very first movie we did, so I had
She
nothing
gave it
to
a 2
compare
out of
it to.
10.
Oh, no, I
Exactly.
didn't. It
Yeah.
was that low?
Yeah, it was a 2.
All right, maybe we'll go back and revise that. Nate is
Maybe
never going to let me live
maybe
that
never.
down.
Maybe we'll give
Never.
everyone. Yeah, well, that was early on too.
I know.
It was the very first movie, wasn't it?
No, it was.
It was like second.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it was-
early
it
on.
was
So no,
early.
this one was good. I think probably still didn't need 32 million, but it was still pretty well done.
How much was Josh Hartnett out of that 32 million?
30. He's like, I'm not sure if this is going to tank or not, so can I get my money up front?
1.5 million for a vampire like face makeup, and then like 0.5 million for fake snow.
Right.
The language is in there somewhere, though, you know.
Oh, and the professor had it money too. That's true. All right, I'll give it, Mitch. I'll give it 4 out of 10 missed sunrises. At first, I was thinking like, oh, this could be like a 6. This could be the more you talk about it, it is just garbage. It dropped dramatically.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds in this movie, 6 out of 10. Right now, just a 4. That's it.
That's fair. I'm going to give it 5 out of 10 burned satellite phones.
Ooh.
So, yeah, plenty of plot holes. Relatively unrememberable.
You can't even remember the word to try to say how non-memorable this is.
It's like Billy Madison. Everyone's IQ has lowered from having watched this. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. It looks good. Like the vampires look good. There's a lot of good action scenes, a lot of good deaths. It's just there's just not much else to it though.
Even the sunrise at the end kind of sucked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Thirst was way better.
Yeah.
Thirst.
I would
go Thirst.
I would not put this over Salem's Lot, which is basically the same movie.
Yeah, it's the same movie. Instead of rural Alaska snow, it's rural Maine.
And one day of night.
Yeah, and one day of night.
One day of night.
Yeah, so Thirst though, as Derek mentioned, the Korean.
Yeah.
Now that's a classic.
That is a classic vampire movie that I would highly recommend.
We only apparently watch Southeast Asian movies with Matt Napro, so we'll put him on that one.
We can mix it up.
Jenna, what's your ranking?
I also probably would have given it a higher rating yesterday because it was entertaining. Definitely not the worst movie I've seen, but digging into it, it's pretty undeniable the issues that I really just can't get past. So I would also give it 5 out of 10 murdered huskies.
Ooh. I went for it.
Us.
I had to.
Yeah. Woof woof. Can we have that as a drop?
Well, the only drop I'm not doing it, but the only drop of dogs I have is DMX's X Gonna Give It To You. That's not the right dog noise.
No, they gave something to him.
Jesus.
Murder.
Derek, finish us off here.
All right. I also yesterday I was thinking, okay, it's fine. When I got to the end, I was like, I'm not liking this anymore. So I'm gonna go with 4 out of 10 artificial sun lamps.
Nice.
I feel like they needed those a lot more than they had them. Yeah, that's all I hear about in Alaska. Everybody's got these.
Yeah,
things.
these people were like just so not prepared for being.
Exactly.
Only we could live here because only we're stupid enough to live here. I guess that's
could have been better.
Yikes!
Did they not have Black Friday sales where they could buy this kind of stuff?
Yeah. Black Friday is every Friday there. Okay, this place is terrible.
All right. Well, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Nate, tell them where they can find us.
Yeah, you can catch us at our website, texaspodcastmassacre.com. You can listen to us on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, and all your other podcast platforms.
All right. Well, Derek, Jenna, thank y'all so much for reviewing this wonderful vampire film.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank
wasting
you for
my
having
last
us.
That's great.
18 days have passed since this podcast started.
And from all of us here, thank you very much for listening, and just keep telling yourself, it's only a movie. Good night.